and that one's going. Grab the other phone and we can get started.
Okay.
I got to do a little monologue for Worlds before you sit down or whatever, but I want to give a big shout out to Worlds. Big shout out to Coach Antonio for allowing me to interview another one of his fighters. Sis, thank you for your time, the time and opportunity. I recognize that you just did your training regime. I know you're a little tired, so bear with me. Humbly and respectfully, thank you for coming to my channel. I've interviewed a lot of people, powerlifters, bodybuilders, whether it's weightlifting or martial arts. I brought them to my YouTube. They told their story. You coming to my channel to tell myself and my audience your story. So again, thank you so much. Other than that, I'm gonna stop yapping. You can look at me the whole time. You can look at the camera. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. But other than that, please introduce yourself, and I'll go from there.
Just like my name.
Whatever you want to, whatever you want to be called.
I'm the Cosha Hammock. I go by just Cosha, really, or Mamba on the boxing side.
1 second, my bad. Clock starts now. All right, so how old are you? Where are you from?
I'm 27. I'm from Tifton, Georgia.
Tifton, Georgia? How close is that to Atlanta? I've never heard of that. How close is that to Atlanta?
It's 3 hours. So Atlanta's in the north, like 3 hours up, and then I'm like 3 hours down. I'm like a couple hours from Florida, really.
How'd you end up here in Fayetteville, out of curiosity? And I know you hate it here because ain't shit to do out here. Yeah.
The Army. I was in the Army.
Oh, how many years did you serve?
7 years. I
Thank
got
you
out
for your
here.
services.
I appreciate it. This was my 3rd duty station, so I got out here.
Say less, say less. You play any sports before? Like, so was boxing your base, or was it like, did you have like other like hobbies and goals or anything?
I played soccer and track in school, but like it wasn't nothing like this. Like boxing is what I've taken more serious than those. So boxing really wasn't the base. I just started boxing like 5 years ago.
So since I'm in the realm of fitness, I'm gonna use you said soccer and what else is?
Track.
Soccer and track. So see, we got another one because Busy said he ran into. Yeah, I got you. So since I'm in the realm of fitness, what I like to do with people, I like to try to find a base. So like, how about this? What age did you start sports?
It was like 10. Yeah, like 5th grade, something like that.
What was it? What was the sport?
It was softball. I think that was the first sport that, well, if you don't count ballet, you know, when I was like 6, then softball when I was like 10.
What got you into it? Was it something your parents wanted for you? Was it something you liked?
I always been an athletic child, so my mom, I think she just asked me like, you want to do softball? And I just did it from there, from that point, and then soccer maybe like a few years after that.
Which one did you enjoy more of?
I don't know, maybe softball. Cause I realized I got an arm, so I can throw.
Like a throwing arm or?
Throwing arm.
So how many years in each sport?
Softball didn't last too long, maybe like a year. Soccer I only did a couple seasons. Track I did on and off throughout high school. So it wasn't nothing like super consistent. I had been graduated in the Army before like I really was taking the sport serious, like boxing.
Got you. Well, I promise you we'll get to that. I'll bring it full circle, I promise. So what was like training regime wise in those sports? What would you say before you got to boxing? But what would you say was probably the most demanding to you physically?
Wait, in terms of boxing?
No, sports. Just sports.
Oh, sports was the most demanding?
Between softball, soccer, and track.
Probably track.
Why is that?
A lot of the conditioning before you even really do your events or whatever events you assign to, just the conditioning part, all the running. I was not a fan of running back then in high school at all.
Probably more a fan of it now because it's more beneficial.
Yeah, and it's easier.
So I'm gonna bring it to boxing, but then I'm gonna take it back to the beginning real quick. So since you had a history of running, like did it make the vascular cardio in your training regime for boxing easier?
Yeah, cause like I said, I was always like in shape to a certain extent. I was always active, so I would say yeah.
Say less, say less. I'm gonna move it to your military career just for a tad bit because that deals in the realms of fitness. You know, them funky ass push-ups and sit-ups and 2 mile. So, when you were in the military and just doing the regular PT, what was that like for you? What was your experience in the military like?
My experience, it was a lot of roller coasters. As far as PT, I was good with PT, but like I said, I joined the Army before I started boxing, so same thing with the running. I was not a fan of it. So, but as far as like the military, I got injured in the military. I had a couple surgeries in there. That prevented me from moving forward. At the time, I wanted to get promoted and stuff just because of the injuries. So,
Allow me to ask, what was your MOS, sis?
42 Alpha, so human
Hey, nah, yeah. Between the Alphas and the Yankees, But anyway, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. No, hey, y'all cool to me. Like, look, hey, y'all need it at the end of the day.
I'm glad. A lot of people like to blame us, but
when shit roll downhill.
Yeah,
nah, that's typically how. Well, what was it? Y'all responsible for like millions of dollars. But anyway, the teachers on getting sidebar. But hey, I fucks with y'all. Like, hey, I could have been a rigger and you'd hated it. But anyway, but thank you for your service. You said you did 7 years, and I know, and I know that regardless of what the obstacles in the between were, a lot of people don't realize whether they're still serving veterans or whatever. There's just certain experience you won't get unless you have served, and regardless of what branch. So that's why I wanted to touch on it. I mean, pretty cool. But you're on to bigger and better things, obviously. So your boxing journey, right? What made you want to knuckle up, sis?
Honestly, I don't have a clear idea. It's just I was like, I just want to do boxing. I want to try it. Something that was always in the back of my head, kind of, but not really. But then having the opportunity when I was in the Army, I was maybe like my 4th year in the Army is when I started boxing.
Okay.
So I was at one duty station where they didn't really have no boxing, nothing there. So once I moved to South Carolina, I was like, I'm gonna find a gym.
Keep going. You're good. I always do this with everybody.
Right.
Just to make sure.
Like, I'm gonna find a gym.
We perfect. We in there. Bet.
I found one and I called.
A boxing gym?
A boxing gym.
In South Carolina?
In South Carolina. I was stationed there, and they didn't answer, but the coach called me back. So if he didn't do that, I really don't know where I would be at for real, because that's where I started and got really my foundation for real.
So I got you, sis. I know. I'll lighten up the mood. I got you. So expectation versus reality. See, Army term. Expectation versus reality. So like, what was the expectations you set in boxing, and what was like your reality? Like, what were some of the things you learned to be true about boxing when you started your boxing journey?
That you can't play boxing. It's not a game. Like, I learned you really gotta be all in. It's not something you can do half-time or part-time. That you really have to dedicate as much time as you can if that's something that you really want to do. And I learned you really have to be on your
shit
runs and cardio, and it all ties together. Boxing is not just putting on the gloves. You gotta work out without the gloves. Really, that's gonna make you better.
So like, what type of training regime were you introduced to? So what was weights involved, or was it just straight conditioning?
Weights were involved. Heavy lifting, not too much, is when needed, but like weights in general are involved, like a lot of lightweight, a lot of reps to really tone up myself, and that's really started toning me, doing a lot of light weights, curls and stuff like that. So weights play a huge part, but I don't focus on like lifting, just going based on my body type and what weight that I'm trying to be at.
So when you were in South Carolina, what was the environment out there versus here? Like, was it the still same? Was it Coach Antonio, or was it a completely different coach?
No, it was another coach, because I was stationed there for like 2 years, and then I came here, and I actually did not start with Coach Antonio when I got here. So
say less. So when you started did you do a match at all, or did you just strictly condition and train in boxing?
When I got here?
No, when you were in South Carolina.
Oh, in South Carolina, yeah, I had 2 matches with that coach in that gym down there before I came up here. So when I came here, I already had two. Yeah, I already had two fights.
So allow me to touch on this, right? So your training regime leading up to that fight, like where was your head at? Like what were your fear? Like where was your headspace at?
Leading up to my first.
Your very first
Very
fight.
first. The nerves. Like when I first started, when the round started, timer went off. It was like a lot of adrenaline, which that can go either way. In my case, it wore down. Like I was tired very quickly with the adrenaline going. I was real nervous. Didn't get the decision I wanted, so I probably took that fight the hardest because it was my first. So you know, training so hard.
I mean, I've never been in the ring. I found out I got a glass jaw, and I couldn't do, so allow me to say this is, I couldn't do what y'all do, and the only reason I've been in the ring, not a sanctioned fight, but I have been in the ring, and some people, you just know this shit ain't for you. Well, boxing ain't for me, goddamn. Maybe wrestling if I get out past that fear, but it's the one thing I've noticed about boxing, everybody has their niche. Some people can't be boxers, but they can be some form of different martial artists. For me, I'm not a striker at all. I'm just, that's the truth. A lot of people, but bringing it full circle back to your first fight or whatever, like what made you want to keep going since you didn't, because some people, even if they don't perform bad, some people, if they take their first L, they don't want to do this shit no more. So what made you stay resilient and say, hey, I want to keep doing it?
Because I already knew, like, that's what I wanted to do. I knew what I needed to work on. In my mind, I did what I needed to do in that round, but in that ring, I just didn't get the decision. But I knew what I needed to work on, and my very next match, I got to win just by perfecting.
How'd that make you feel? I'm asking, this me being funny, but did your God complex come out just a little bit? I'm fucking with you, I'm fucking with you. Yeah.
It was basically, I was like, I'm gonna just take what I learned from that last one and apply it, and it just made me want to go harder for real, because it's like really what I want to do. If you quit after your first loss, then this is not for you.
You right, she ain't lying.
It's not for you for real. Like this is amateur boxing. It's not always, you're not gonna always win. You're gonna improve. You're gonna continue to improve, and that's how you're gonna improve, by having that mindset.
So how about this, and then I'm gonna move it on to the transition when you move from South Carolina to here. Do you feel like that first L or that first W kind of sets the pace for how you are as a boxer? Then that's anybody from your perspective.
I think it can. If it's somebody seeing you for the first time, but a win or a lose in boxing necessarily might not look like you won or lost in the ring. So when I had my first win, that was when I first had people coming to me like, you look really nice in there. But even on my first loss, I had people like, man, you look great in there. Like, people see different things, and you take all of that in, and people see you.
So you got more of a positive, if I may. So you got more of a positive critique even in the L versus negative. It's not like people came in and said, bro, you shouldn't do this, you completely suck. Yeah.
I got that criticism, from my coach and my teammates, like, it was just this and that. We're going to work on it for the next time. But even a lot of outside people looking in stopped me because they saw how physically upset I was at that. Like, man, you look good in there, this and that. And it just, I don't know, it uplifts you, make you better.
I got you. I'll take it. So, were you upset that? Well, obviously that's just one of the perks of the military. But I'm not gonna say were you upset. But was it hard for you to adjust with the move when you came down here and trying to find a boxing gym? Because I know the up-tempo was hella different from South Carolina to here. I just know it was.
Yes, it was very difficult. I don't like change. I don't do good with change, and I was dreading leaving the whole time. When I got here, I went to another gym actually for maybe a month, and I realized that one wasn't for me. But I had a hard time at that gym. Like, I shed some tears in private because it's like the environment was different. I had a family environment. South Carolina came up here, and it was different.
Fucking disgusting, right?
Yeah, it was so different, and I realized it wasn't here. It was, just maybe that gym, and I had to really think about what I was gonna do. If I was gonna stay at the gym, if I was gonna keep boxing, or what I was gonna do. I knew I wanted to box.
So can I speak on something real quick that I told Busy this. I didn't think there was a martial artist out here. I was buying some tubs, doing some adjustments for my house and my game room or whatever. Me and him had to sit down. He was a martial artist, but one of the things he said about out here in Fayetteville, and I can down us because I'm from here. Fuck y'all. Nah, I love you. But nah. One of the things he said was how they condition their fighters down here, the Fayetteville natives. If you don't have a talent for this, they're not going to coach and direct you. Now, if you do, what they'll do is they'll train and condition you, and they'll put you against the guy. I'm not gonna say the guys that suck, but like, okay, somebody like me, they're gonna put me against their star fighter. Reason being is because I'm a human punching bag. You feel me? Which I think they kind of learned down the hall. At the end of the day, everybody's fighting skill is different. But I think the reason why you struggled with that, the whole family environment. I'm pretty sure you know the environment around here overall, and I'm not talking shit about us. So somebody who sees this be like, fuck, no, let me stop. But the environment here is different. It's not homey, if that makes sense. It's more like eat or be eaten, survival. So I know I empathize with that feeling you said that you had, because again, like, to an extent, and it's not just in boxing, it's just the town in general. It's not embraced, and I think you were kind of in a culture shock, because again, in the realm of martial arts, it's not just boxing, it's mixed martial arts, it's wrestling, it's jiu-jitsu. Your community is what helps you grow. But anyway, I'm sorry but did I kind of, with what I just said, was that kind of like the base of what you were feeling when you moved from South Carolina to here?
Yeah,
anyways,
right on.
So I am sorry that you experienced that, and the only reason, like I said, I can say what I want about my hometown, but it's just when I did my traveling outside, and this is just from a powerlifting perspective, I learned more leaving than I did here. I feel like, based on that tidbit that you said, sis, you had to take a step back, because again, you probably got more, to an extent, but you probably got more from South Carolina than you did when you first got here. It's not an embrace, it's either eat or be eaten. But that's just my 2 cents. Bringing it back to you, so before I went off and rambled, you gotta stop me when I do that. So it's this your interview, not mine. Anyway,
you fine.
Yeah, but so you said that you was at a gym, you wasn't feeling it. It had you in your emotions because what you were used to. So what happened? Like, what was the shift? Like, did you decide to leave on your own, or did you just see something and just said, hey, I want to try this gym? Like, what happened to make you continue here in Fayetteville, North Carolina?
Basically, at the gym that I was at, not too far from here, I didn't necessarily see something, someone at that gym, a couple people that used to be at that gym were there, still would go there from time to time, and they were like, you should come over here, you should go, Coach Antonio, come here. So one day on a weekend workout,
shout out, Coach.
I came. Yeah. One day on a workout, on a Saturday workout, I came and I joined them, Coach Antonio and the rest of the team, and I liked it, and I just kept going from there. And my former first sergeant from the Army also is here as a pro boxer, and he's one of the ones that
I'm gonna interview him when he come back. So allow me to touch on that. Like, so I understand that people influenced you and motivated you to come here, but what did Coach Antonio do to make you feel comfortable to say, hey, I want to stick with this? Like, I understand that they said, but like, what was it? Was it day one with your training regime? Was it a one-on-one? Was it an in-ring? Like, what made you go, okay, nah, I'm gonna stick with this. This is what I need. It
was really from that first workout, day one, because like I said, I spent a month at that gym, and I didn't think I really was getting anything from it, but I came to this one workout with Coach Antonio.
At that other gyms, it was just nothing but circuit training?
In a way, but like different coaches and not really coaching you, and just stuff like that. And then fighters just want to beat you up instead of trying to learn together. And it wasn't, so when I came here, that first workout, like Coach Antonio, he sees everything and he knows your strengths and will play off of it so you get better. And it's like he knows what to work on. He knows what to work on depending on which fighter it is.
Sis, I'm really sorry you went through. I'm sorry, I'm getting triggered right now. It was just when you. Anyway, so he day one you got that level of comfortability again, and you started training with him. So how long did you train with him before you started like fighting under him and doing more bouts?
Under Coach Antonio?
Mm-hmm.
I had a match pretty early on. It was an all-female match under Coach Antonio. Maybe like a few months, maybe like 6 months to a year from me starting here. I had a match with Coach. I didn't get the win or the decision, but it opened like a lot of people's eyes. Like I said, people see you. Like even people who were there 2-3 years ago still would say, man, I saw you in this match. You did really well. And they look at you and they see that.
Wait, when you started fighting under him, or are we still going back to your first one?
Under him.
Uh-huh.
I had my first match. It was an all-female match. And I think I did well, but just minor things to work on, which I think I've worked on since then.
So with everything you went through, like, did you still, or how about this? Every time you get in the ring, do you still, we are making good time. I sure fucking appreciate you. You had me scared and shit that I wouldn't be able to gauge. I said, because, you know, I'm socially awkward. I got you to laugh a couple of times. You know, I like it when I can help people smile and shit. You feel me? You know, what was it? Laughing is good for the soul. But anyway, so train under him, get your first bout, like, but did it take you back to your first match, or is it always like that when you get in the ring? Like when you step in the ring, do you still get that sense of the jitters?
It didn't take me back to my first loss, because your first loss is your first loss. I don't think any other loss would be like that one. I don't think. And it was also my first match, so it didn't really take me back there. I knew that I hadn't been with Coach Antonio that long, and so we learning each other, that boxer fighter dynamic. And like I said, I still did really well, but I just knew I needed to work on stuff, and from then on I have been. So
I got you. So how about this? Just hear me out, and y'all please don't counsel me either when I ask this. So, do you feel like it's the same like concept for boxing for male and females, or do you feel like it's a different realm? Like as a female boxer opposed to a male boxer?
Like in what way do you mean?
Okay, honestly, sis, I have no idea. I just know again.
Just like boxing?
Yeah, just in general.
I think in a way it's different. Like me, I only have like 11 matches in 5 years, and that's due to the lack of female boxers. It's like female boxers.
You talking about here, right?
Up. Yeah.
Okay.
The lack of female boxers, just in general, it took a while before I had my first match, period. So just in general, the lack of female boxers, they're starting to come up, but the lack of female boxers, especially at my weight class. So either there's people that can't find nobody for me, or maybe the person pull out, or maybe there's no one at that weight class. But when it comes to boxers, like boxing a male, I would say it's different than me boxing a female.
Oh no. Well, yeah, no. So damn, I did not explain that well. I appreciate you adding that in. No. So the only reason I asked, so you kind of did touch on something though too. So would you say also maybe the reason why it's hard for you to get okay, not hard, but harder for you as a female to get a match versus a male is because as far as a combat sport in boxing, like that's not something most females are into? Especially when it comes to getting into the ring?
Yeah, I would say that. Like I said, there's more females that's starting to come out and emerge, but I think that, yeah, maybe some females it's not there for them, but I really just think it's just a lack.
Okay, how about this? Do you feel like it's also location and proximity? Like, how about this? Do you feel like if you were back in South Carolina, you'd have way more matches?
I'm not sure, because it took me 2 years before I had my first match up there. Down there, because the lack of females at my weight class.
Okay.
I was fighting at a different weight class down there, but yeah, I don't know if I would have more. I think there's other states where I would have way more matches, but here in South Carolina is not one of them, for real.
So you probably really got to relocate to get what you want out of it.
Gotta travel, gotta find them, for real.
So with that being said, so it sounds like you committed to it. So if you get that, will you be satisfied? Like getting more bouts? That's me asking
Yeah,
that.
always want more bouts because it's about the experience, especially in amateur boxing. Like, get as many bouts as you can. Win or lose, you're still gonna learn something regardless. The thing with boxing, you always gonna learn.
Too easy. So what's your overall goal with boxing? Do you want to stay amateur? Do you want to go pro? You got 11 fights, so I'm pretty sure you're not amateur no more. Ain't no way.
I am amateur.
Still, you got 11 fights?
I'm still amateur because I haven't crossed that barrier yet. But the plan is to go pro.
Okay.
So I don't want to stay amateur. I want to really go as high as I possibly can.
Okay. Do you ever see yourself being a trainer like coach one day?
I'm not sure. I do like watching boxers, especially boxers that's starting out, and seeing like the discrepancies maybe, or maybe the good stuff, and talking to them about it. But that also like helps me personally when I'm boxing as well. So I don't know if I would see myself being a trainer, but maybe like something close to it, maybe a little bit assistant in shadows.
So with that being said, allow me to touch on. So I don't know any female boxers. I just know all males. So forgive me. Maybe I just need to do more research. That way I can gauge the next female boxer I sit in and talk to. But so I asked Coach this, and I asked Staying Busy this. So you watch a lot of the celebrity, well, the pro boxing matches, right? So obviously you know who Floyd Mayweather is. Hopefully I didn't butcher his name. Anyway, I asked Coach this and I asked Busy this. So do you feel like Floyd Mayweather ruined the sport of boxing? Here's why I asked that. He's the only boxer with this 50-0, right? When you look at other boxers, I'm gonna use Wilder as an example. That man has X amount of wins. He has what, maybe 2 losses? And they're butchering his career like he didn't knock motherfuckers out 27, 28 times before. So do you feel like because Floyd kept that 0 and all those W's, not just for just any male or female, do you feel like that kind of ruined the sport of boxing? Because again, when you take your first L in pro, from my understanding is your boxing career pretty much over. There is no underdog story no more.
I have noticed with the pros that like sometimes, like most of the time, that one loss, when that 0's taken away, it's like a huge deal. But I don't know if Floyd keeping that 0 ruined the sport. I think Floyd is very skilled. Like, he sees stuff that people don't see, and that's why he got that 0. But also, there are people with way more fights than him that have almost a perfect record too. So I think Floyd just picked his matches. He picked his opponents very wisely. I'll say that. I say he picked them very wisely, and I don't know if that really ruined the sport. I know a lot of people went up against him wanting to take that 0 away from him, and
it never happened.
They couldn't.
Even when he fought Manny Pacquiao and they ended up in a tie, I was like, these motherfuckers just dancing around the ring. But anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I don't know if the sport is ruined. I think he maybe had something to do with it, but I'd be asking myself that same thing: how he got 50 fights and no losses,
0 losses.
And
yeah.
Deontay Wilder. I think Deontay Wilder is very different though. I think it's the way he go about it, the way he box and stuff like that. And Deontay Wilder has also had some excuses, like when he took his loss to like Fury, he had an excuse. So stuff like that.
See,
people look at all of that.
I know how I'm engaged. So
people look at that.
Let me ask you this then, sis, right? Do you think with that one, and everybody has, whether it's boxing, UFC, martial art, everybody has that one person that they can't beat, right? So with Fury, right, do you think that, and let's not talk about what it just did to him as an individual, you think that probably played really bad on his psyche because of the ills he did take from Fury? Because like, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna shut up. I over-explain this, so forgive me. When him and Fury fought the second time and he lost, he even told him, he said, I don't know what dude problem is with me, because again, I recognize that he has the heart of a champion, but he doesn't acknowledge or respect me as a boxer. But do you think because of those L's he took from him, that just fucked up his temperament and his mannerisms in the sport of boxing?
I think it did. Like there's some like boxers like him that don't take stuff like that well. But
A
I
loss?
think Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
like a loss, and I think like the ones that had that mentality as to like, man, I did this, I can admit that this is where I went wrong, and I'm gonna go fix it. Those boxers come back winning. I think Waters' losses were close together, if I'm not mistaken. They both was close
Mind
together.
you, he has all them W's, but yeah.
Yeah, he got all them W's, but it's just like when you take a loss in the pros, like the big pros, what I'm noticing, you don't want to take another loss close to that first loss.
So if he won like
You don't
5
wanna
fights
do
and
that.
lost another one, he probably would have been cool. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that, but in the sport of boxing, they want you to win. They want you to have that zero. It can be in a way unrealistic, but that's what they want. They want you to have that zero.
So I believe manifestation is real. So I'm not gonna say if. So when you go into the pros, is that gonna be one of your main worries? Getting a zero as a pro.
Yeah, cause I think the pressure is on. The more matches, the more wins I have in a row, the pressure would definitely be on. Cause I feel it in the amateurs. When I have 2-3 wins in a row, I'm like, oh my gosh, like is this going? I really ask myself, is this gonna be the one where I take a loss? I think I get really nervous. So once the bell goes off, I be good. But
you locked in, just different persona and everything.
I be good because I'm focused. Like your focus gotta be 100% on your opponent. So
the fighter coming out a little bit. I like that shit. All right, so let's touch on that. So as a fighter, like, what are some of the? I know this ain't a movie, so bear with me. But when you are gauging your opponent, what are some of the things you look at, and hopefully this makes sense to where when you're bouting with them, whatever you do, you know that win is coming for you. Like what are some of the things you look for?
If they're tired,
okay.
If they're tired, I know to turn up, and I know.
Wait, hold on, wait. We probably. I don't want nobody to see this and then fuck you later. Like, oh, so that's what she. Nah, I'm fucking. I had to get another laugh, sis. I apologize. Go ahead.
It's things that anybody should look for, but like if I see that she's tired, then I want to go to the body because that's how you're gonna take the air away from them.
So they all jokes aside, somebody probably gonna watch this and take notes for it.
But at the end of the day, you don't know what's gonna happen once you step in that ring. So, and also like if they missing a lot, like if I make them miss a lot,
so that can make you
mess with. I try. that can make you mess with their mind. Like boxing is majority mental, so if you can break their mental down, you already won.
And you already won. And you've been able to establish that while in combat.
Yeah, like you notice when you have somebody, like you notice when you get in them. I haven't had very many, encounters, but you kind of can see it's signs to look for. I say that.
So how about this? Because now I'm kind of like different personas. So would you say it's like a switch for most fighters? Because you have a very humble. Well, then again, too, you ain't from. Sorry, y'all, you ain't from Fayetteville. But anyway, you have a very humble spirit about yourself. You feel me? And only reason I say that, one thing I learned, and it's not just boxing. It's any martial art that causes you to be disciplined, to be violent. You can't be gentle in it, if that makes sense. You can be humble all day, every day, but you cannot be gentle. So do you feel like there's like a switch, like for most fighters, whether it's the ring, the mat, or the dojo, you feel like there's a switch for them?
There's definitely a switch. I'm naturally kind of shy and quiet person. Yeah. I'm not violent outside of the ring. But I don't know what it is. Just when I step in, the aggression turns on. Like I'm naturally aggressive. But there are some fighters who walks around with that. I got you. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna win. They're very cocky and they show it in the ring. Then there's some, like, I'm gonna use an example like Canelo. I think he's very intense in the ring and he know what he want to do. But then after the ring and you put the microphone up to hear him talk,
he's like, who the fuck is this guy? It's
so soft. It's so soft spoken and like humble. Like you wouldn't know if he won or lost really. So I think for me it definitely is a switch. Like people that know me know like I'm quiet. I don't say too much. I'm very chill. Then when I get in the ring, that's when everything come out. You
Dr.
know.
Jackal, Mr. Hyde. Now let me stop. So allow me to ask you this then too. Okay, the squirrel, my attention span of a squirrel is coming on. But so what are some things you like about boxing, and what are some things you dislike about it?
I like that I can express myself with boxing. I like that I can release my frustrations with boxing. I like that it's different than any other sport. Like anybody can't come in here and do this. I really wholeheartedly believe that anybody.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not for everybody.
She's not lying.
I like how I've been on team sports, but I like how it's myself and my mind, and that's it. Myself and my mind versus my opponent, but it's really me versus me. So I like that. I like how I can listen to my coach in the corner tell me to do something because he's seeing something that I don't see, and I execute that. And that's very important too. I really like everything about boxing. It can be aggressive. There's very many different styles of boxing, and it's all year round. We don't have to wait on the season, so it's all year round from January to December. So
Anything you dislike about it?
sometimes I dislike the time because I do a lot of stuff outside of boxing as well. So I put a lot of my time to boxing, so it's really just how tired my body be feeling afterwards. It's like, but I'm still gonna come back tomorrow. But sometimes it's just like, dang, I'm really tired. Like, I don't feel like going to the gym, but I'm gonna make myself go because I know what the end goal is, for real. Not too many things I dislike about boxing, but if I were to say,
Like people, temperament, bullies.
I dislike the people that just want to beat you up all the time. Sometimes you need that, but I dislike the lack of females that I've had. Like there are a lot of matches that I was supposed to have, but I didn't because there just wasn't a female there or the female pulled out. In my experience, I don't think you really should pull out of a match unless it's
regardless, like if
an emergency, like medical or something like that. Because like I said, it's an amateur. You shouldn't be choosing.
Well, no. So hear me out. Do you feel like? Or how about this? Hear me out. I'm pretty sure they don't do this, but do you feel like they pull out because they see your record and then they compare it to their own and they already know it? Like I ain't losing to her. I'm asking. Do you think that's what it is?
I don't think it's that necessarily because I don't have a perfect record.
Got you.
I got some losses and I got some wins. So I think it does have something to do with me, like being that there's not a lot of females. A lot of the females, we've all seen each other. We've sparred each other or we've seen each other in a match, whether we competing against each other or we watching.
I feel like they know they would lose. I think I don't know for the pull-out ones. That's what I was saying. It's kind of like, okay, what other reason would they pull out unless they felt like they weren't?
I mean, it's hard to think like otherwise, and some of them we've sparred together and they end up pulling out. So I do think it's them seeing me. Like, you're not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying like it's them seeing me who I am because I don't think I box like other females, just to say that humbly, but the fact is I don't think I know I don't. So
okay, again, attention span of a squirrel. Can you elaborate on that? Like what that mean?
I box.
Yeah.
I box like
a dude.
I pick my shots. I think I'm smart, but I think I'm really starting to see things when I'm boxing. Like I know what I'm seeing. Defense is turning up, and I'm very aggressive, and I'm not a light hitter. I think my shots are felt.
So boxing you is like boxing a man is basically. I mean, you ain't got, okay. So she should have led with that because now I'm kind of like that's why I'm like wait okay, what is she trying to say? All right, oh damn, that could be dangerous. Well, anyway, I mean, hey, each his own. My bad, sis. I'll bring it back full circle. The reason why I was asking like that, The only time, and I'm not a warrior at all, not in boxing anyway, but the only time I can foresee, whether it's amateur or pro, the only time I can see somebody pulling away from an opponent is if they're scared of them. I know some people, I've talked to some people, and they go, hey, street fighting type shit, like, hey, I know I'm gonna lose against dude. I don't care though. Like, I'm gonna make a statement. But I know in a contact sport, you can't. That type of mindset don't apply, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like that's a waste of time, but I apologize for yapping. Again, gonna bring it back to you on this. So with that being said, like, moving forward, like, what advice would you want to give to the females in this sport?
I would say don't shy away from any match, because there are a lot of females that fight different, and I'll say take it on and travel, because that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna need to do, like, find any and every female that you can to get that experience. Because I know a lot of females that I talk to that box, they all say the same thing, that they got a gym full of guys. You know, they're boxing guys, which is good, but sometimes you want to box the people you're actually gonna be competing against, as far as female wise. I'll say don't be scared, really, for lack of a better term. Like, just do it. We need more females, and the females is on the rise and on the come up.
You finna get clocked, y'all. Y'all don't know I'm fucking with y'all. Fucking with you.
So I'll say that.
Yeah, I got you. I'm sorry. I know that's probably. I was again trying to lighten the mood. I'm very comical on certain things, so, like, forgive me, sis. It's a defense mechanism. Now let me stop. Last couple of things, and then we'll end it, because I know you're tired and you got to come up in here tomorrow, still be on your grind. Just two specific questions, right? Have you ever found yourself using the techniques and the regime that you've learned in boxing outside? Like, was there ever a moment where you was like, well, I ain't got the gloves on, but this motherfucker finna find out real quick? I'm asking, just
like boxing?
Yeah.
No. I'll say in a way. A lot of people that find out about box, I go to school at FSU, so a lot of people find out about it, they be like, oh, you want to get in the ring, you want to go around, or I can knock you out. And my thing is,
do you squint your eyes a little bit when they say that?
I don't entertain it, because why are you, as a non-boxer, telling a boxer that? Like, for one, me as a boxer shouldn't just take you up on that, because I should, just to show you, but I won't, because I know I can hurt you
badly.
But
you squint your eyes when they ask you that dumb shit, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, you be like, I can take you on, be like,
I've had to show somebody once. Once.
You felt bad? Did you feel bad?
No, I didn't feel bad, because dude was egging me on.
Oh, it was a dude?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you win? No, let me stop. I'm fucking with you. Did you win?
No, it was just, I don't try to kill nobody. It was just a shot or two.
Did you win?
But
you can't even look me in my face. Did you win?
I don't.
No, I'm gonna stop fucking with you. I'm stopping. Let me stop.
I mean, you could say that, but I was like, you know what? I got gloves. Meet me here. It was on campus. So
you probably embarrassed the hell out. Anyway, so moving on. Only reason I asked to be proficient in a skill, sometimes in life situations, and nobody, well, to an extent, depends on who you are. It's not like nobody learns a regime and then they come up and they want to, bullies do that, but learns a regime and they pick victims to, fuck with. With the humble spirit that you have, I don't see you doing that. But I was wondering, like, the reason why I asked in that format, the original question, if you ever had to use these skills and training regime on the outside, was it was kind of like, basically like self-defense. Like, did you ever find yourself, like, where you had to, not because people egged you on, but it was just like, somebody pushed the envelope and it was like, well, okay, it's go time. That's why I asked in that format, sis.
I have not done that. I refrain from doing that. I just let people talk, because as a USA boxer, my hands are registered.
Ooh, Lord.
So,
anyway, yeah. Oh,
you
Lord
know,
Jesus.
I shouldn't be fighting out here in the streets unless it's self-defense, but I never really had to use it, because, like I said, outside the ring, I'm not like this, all like aggressive and stuff like that. But
so
yeah.
You posed another question, and that in itself, does that annoy you? Because it's like, why try me and you know I'm dangerous, male or female? Like does that annoy you?
Yeah. Like, why are you talking like that? Because I'm gonna take you up on it one day, and then what? Like, what are you gonna say then? But I don't let them know me too much. I just let them talk. Like, they can do that. Like, at the end of the day, like, they see me. Like, there are people that walk up to me on campus and like, don't you box? So like, they see. So I'm not.
Do you ever look
I'm
at
not
them and just
about
want to tell them no? You got me confused with somebody else.
No, cause I want you to know that I box.
And you're proud of that. You're proud of the fact that you box.
Yeah, I am. This is like a very high IQ required sport.
And a lot of dum-dums don't realize that, do we?
No.
I got you, sis.
A lot of people don't. There's a lot that it takes. It's not just putting on the gloves.
I got you. So moving forward, I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna hit you with a questionnaire. On some real shit. Thank you for telling your story. Your coach, obviously, he recommended you, but the reason why I took him up on it is after and I'm still posting his interviews. Same with Busy daily. Like, in my mind, their word is law. They put in a good word. I don't see Coach putting in a good word for anybody for no reason, and I kind of see why he did. He. How long have you been with Coach Antonio?
Since 2021.
So you've been with that man for about 3 years. So it's more than a seed. Like, there's a root to all this. And interviewing you and interviewing hopefully more of his fighters in the future, like I see like the fruits, if that makes sense. And I kind of, me seeing how you are and Busy are and hopefully other fighters that I do have to sit down and talk to, I feel like you guys are a good reflection of him. Because again, I have yet, even the third person, I have yet to have a sit down with a cocky, mean motherfucker. I'm going to talk about the other gyms, but that's some of the shit that you experience with the other gyms here. So keep that humble spirit about yourself. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm going to set the clock for a minute, hit you with these questionnaires, and we're going to go. We good?
Yeah.
All right, say less. I got you. All right. Go ahead and set that clock. 1 minute. And not boxing related, but they fitness related, all right? All right, bet. Let's see. Here we go. And time starts now. 60 seconds. Rest day or cheat meal?
Cheat meal.
Southpaw or unorthodox?
Southpaw or unorthodox?
Yeah.
Southpaw.
Energy drink or coffee?
Energy drink.
Cardio or sauna?
Cardio.
Long distance running or sprints?
Sprints.
Bodybuilding or strongman?
Bodybuilding.
Nike or Adidas?
Adidas.
Hip hop or rock and roll?
Hip hop.
1 rep max or repetition?
Repetition.
Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
Nickelodeon.
Hey. Well, that's going to conclude this interview, sis. On some real shit, when I learned to get better at interviewing people, whether they're boxers, I got it down packed with, the meatheads like me, but I'm still learning to talk to people. So thank you for helping me get past my anxiety. But in the future, allow me to bring you back again. We can have another sit down. I'm pretty sure you have more bouts under your belt. With that being said, I know for a fact you're going to have different perspectives. But other than that, on some real shit, I really appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. It's inspiring and it's motivating.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. And we are